Year 5, what we learned today in chemical science is the three main states of matter, specifically looking at one of them. Now, what is one of these main states of matter? Can you tell me? Yes.
Solids.
Yes, solids. And what would be an example of a solid?
A rock.
Rock. Genius. Great work. Rock is one of them. So the other two main states of matter is liquids and gases. Now I've done up a diagram here explaining the three different main states of matter. The first one being solids. Now with solids, okay, this main state of matter is made up of particles. Okay, so these particles are really close together, like in this diagram, and they're touching. Now with solids, solids hold their shape, and they also hold their shape if they were to be put into a space. Okay, and our solids are easy to pick up also. Okay, so have a feel of that solid. Okay, holds its shape. Okay, easy to pick up. Now let's look at the next main state of matter, which is liquids. Now liquids, the particles are more spread out than solids. Okay, some are touching, some aren't, and the particles are moving around a bit and vibrating. Okay, so with a liquid, it's very hard to pick up. If not, you can't pick it up. Okay, and it's easy to pour and flows easily. So an example of a liquid here would be water. What would be another example of a liquid, do you think? It pours and flows easily and hard to pick up.
Cordial.
Yeah, cordial, exactly. Okay, great job. So you can have a look at that liquid there. Okay, so then we move on to the last main state of matter, and that is gas. So with gas, eyes on here, eyes on me, focus. Gas, the particles are spread out, okay? So they're really spread out and they're vibrating really quickly, right? Now with gas, okay, most gases are invisible. So what would be an example of a gas that you can't see, an invisible gas?
Air.
Yeah, air. And an example of a gas that you can see, what would that be?
Fire.
Fire. Perfect. So you can see that gases most of the time are invisible, but some gases we can see are visible. So from here, gases and liquids, they both take up the shape of an object if they're poured or put into or whatever the space they're in. With a solid, if you put it in a space or an object, solids hold their shape. Okay, as you could see by here, this would be put in the bowl, this would hold its shape. Okay, liquids and gases would take the shape of that space. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the difference between the particles. So the particles, okay, close together, touching with solids. Then we move to liquids. Liquids are spread out, okay, touching a little bit, some cases not touching, and gases, the particles are what?
Very spread out.
Exactly, very spread out. Perfect. So we're moving on to weighing. We're going to weigh a solid. Okay, so the solid's mass, we're going to weigh here, is 255 grams. Okay, that's the mass of that solid. So when we weigh the mass of an object, what that means is that's the total amount of matter of that substance. Okay, in this case, solid. So the next one we're going to look at is liquid. So this case we're weighing the mass of liquid here, and the liquid is water. It's 180 grams. Okay. So now, what would be the mass of air?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so that's what we're going to be investigating and learning in our science today. We're going to be focusing on does gas have mass? Does air have mass? And we're going to be looking at investigating air. So what you're going to be doing in your experiment is you're going to be doing what I've done here. You're going to be blowing up two balloons. Both have gas in them, and the gas that we're going to be using is obviously air, so they both have air. And then in our experiment, you're going to be writing your hypothesis, and a hypothesis is what?
A prediction.
Yep, so you're going to be doing a prediction of what you think will happen if, when we put a hole in the balloon, what will happen to the balancing scales here, okay, with these balloons here. If one of them is slowly losing air, what's going to happen? That's your prediction, and you're going to answer these and analysis and observations of the questions.